Hello, my name is Zhang Jiayong. I'm from China, Fujian province. Currently, I'm traveling around Osaka. Honestly, this is my first time to come to Osaka. I came here when I was a graduate student. Honestly, this hasn't changed a lot. Still, I like the hospitality of the people. And however, I changed a lot because when I graduated from university, I worked as a foreign trader selling product to people from different countries. But right now, I work as a language teacher, teaching both English and Spanish online. That actually allows me to travel around the world. Meanwhile, working for sure because there's any really physical like a restriction. Whenever wherever I go, I can actually like teach any student I want on the internet. I like this job, and I do enjoy my time here in Osaka. Look, it's kind of funny, but I will make it short. It's a long story. I'll make short. So 10 years ago, when I came to Osaka, I was traveling with my friend. However, we sort of had an argument, and he left me in the middle of the night, probably like I guess it's early morning, probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was wandering around, wonder like where I should take the subway and how did I get back to my apartment because my friend had all my passport except my phone. My phone had been left on in Osaka Park when we were traveling there. So it was kind of awkward situation, honestly. So I went to the PlayStation. I remember it was right next to the aquarium PlayStation. So yesterday I went there. Everything was exactly the same as 10 years. Nothing really changed except the person, for sure. I try to make some friends here, like with the locals, because I last week actually went to like the event called Welcome Japan, the English Corner, where people exchange languages. One thing I noticed that people were very hospitable. They welcome those newcomers, and they try to start a conversation with the strangers. I remember, I guess like 3 days ago, I had this conversation with two Japanese girls. Yeah, I still remember their name. One is Momo, and the other girl was Haruko. Yeah, I think it's Haruko. And I made compliment on Haruko's name because Haru means like spring, right? However, when the events ended, like they went back home directly, even I encountered them on the way to the subway, they simply just say hi. I mean, if I were in China, probably like I knew somebody in an event and we say hi to each other. I mean, some of us tend to be really like hospitable even after event. Probably we walk home together and has started a small conversation or small talk on the way home. But it's just like it didn't happen between me and these two Japanese girls. This one thing I noticed. Of course, it could vary from people to people for sure. Yeah. Language itself, if you're talking about a language on the textbook, I would say that most of Asian people are good at it because we always focus on the grade. We don't really practice how to speak the language at all. Meanwhile, communication is more or less like how you convert your idea, like make people to understand what you meant. Because the funny thing is that when my dad told me once he was in Germany, he intended to like express that his needs are urgent to urinate. He wanted to find toilet, and he actually he did some sort of like a like a pause, which could be somehow is they considered as inappropriate to some extent. And well, at the end, people understand you. And I mean, that is the main point of what is communication. Sometimes you don't really use like a verbal way to make people to understand. Sometimes you can just try to do the action, and probably you need a tissue is doing like this. Probably you need a hat, you can do something like this. And this is the way how people communicate these days even without any language because body language works, right? And language itself, on the other hand, you have to say it, and sometimes it could cause some awkwardness, but people could understand. As long as people could understand, they definitely goes to communication part. And language itself is more or less like you try to master like the language, the sort of the expression and the way how they talk to each other in the locals. Yeah. Well, okay. I have to put it straight. I don't really enjoy the food here in Japan. Especially we have like what was a place like where a lot of local Japanese people would go, especially for the salary man. It's like a 吉野家,何の家とか. And there's another one called Songwu. Okay, I have no idea how to say that in China, in Japanese or English. So I don't know why and how they tend to make food that is pretty salty, or could be the way how like I don't really enjoy like any salty food at all, and they always have this soya bean, extra soya bean added to the food, to meat. I just don't get it. I don't really enjoy it at all. But one thing I do enjoy is the bento from convenience store. I mean, it does both save me money and the time, because I don't really have to find like any restaurant in the middle of the night, because sometimes I don't really have dinner at like say like 6 or 7 o'clock. I probably have my meal after like 9, but the restaurant stops at I guess like 5 or 6, and the only option left is convenience store for 24 hours. So I usually, especially over the past week, I usually like purchase bento from convenience store, and they always have this shorviki. I think it's shorviki, like the best time, the best taste of the food. You're supposed to have the food before the time, and it tastes just right. It's neither too sweet, it's neither too sweet nor too salty. And I think that I would prefer like bento from convenience store compared to those restaurants on the street. Yeah. Well, I mentioned that bento so far, and they have like kind of dessert. It looks like a fluffy cake. They call it 大福 in Chinese. How to say 大福 in Chinese? In Japanese. 大福. I mean that dessert tastes amazing, really amazing. I like very much. And the ice cream here in Japan, well, fair price, and yeah, I like it. Yeah. Wow. Okay, this is a really cliche question. I was asked a lot by Japanese when I was in the English corner, like what's the difference? What's the major difference between Osaka and Tokyo? I don't want to be mean, but people from Tokyo seems to be rather indifferent towards strangers, or I say people are not from the local. Meanwhile, Osaka people, yeah, they are more warm-hearted, and they are willing to share, they are willing to talk, and well, right. Another thing I noticed that in a subway, if you take like the subway in Tokyo, it's extremely quiet. You don't really see people start a small talk with the person next to him, even their friends. Meanwhile, in Osaka, you see people. Sometimes I even see some young moms they eat. Some high school student they talk, laugh. It's feel more alive here in Osaka, honestly. Mm. If you do not take good care of your parents, or if you don't get married, who is going to take care of you after when you're old, when you retire? I mean, I don't care. Why should I care? I mean, these are things that I couldn't imagine like what would I don't even know what will happen tomorrow, right? I just want to enjoy my time, enjoy at this moment. But the traditional value held by most of the baby boom baby boom era people like my parents, they tend to believe that if you want to have a good life, you're supposed to get married early. You're supposed to have kids. You're supposed to have house or car. But so far, I have no idea what they are saying, and I couldn't get understand this kind of concept. So I prefer to make my own decision. Even we have the joke around on Chinese social media, 小红书. So if you do not have a kids, okay, what if you die alone in an apartment? What are you going to do? I'm already dead. I'm already dead. Why should I even care? Right? I don't really got I got no feeling at all. I mean, that's the responsibility of somebody who finds my body, right? So, so it's just like the thing is like if you do not really do a thing you want to do at this moment, and you always think about like what will happen tomorrow, isn't that somehow is a burden to you, right? You just why don't you just enjoy the moment because everybody is going to die, right? And you don't want to like say one day you're so old when your kids finally grow up and you're already 60 or like 70 something, you wouldn't have the strength to explore the world and just enjoy the moment for sure and travel and see as many things as possible when you're young. Yeah. The way how they serve clients is way different compared to China because in China generally when you walk to in a barber shop you have the hairdresser to do the hair for you, right? First thing in China we do is wash the client's hair, then we start to do the hair, right? However, in Japan they do it opposite. First of all, they kind of welcome the clients to the seat, and then they start to ask like what kind of hairstyle you want, which is totally normal. However, the second step is totally way different compared to the barber shop in China. They start to cut your hair. First of all, they use the spreader to wet your hair, and then start to cut it. Okay, so during the whole section, I was wondering, like, okay, when are we supposed to have hair washed? Isn't part of the section or not? And then after the hairdresser, it was a really cute Japanese girl. After she has done with my hair, right, and she actually walked me to like the place where we can actually wash our hairs. She asked me, okay, じゃあ shampoo しましょう. Okay, wow, shampoo しましょう. That's a verb. Okay, new to me. So, and then there was a chair. I was supposed to like lie down backwards like this. And I said, wow, okay, but I'm not like tall enough. So whether I would my head actually reach the sink. And then she pressed this bottom on the chair and I gradually leaned down. So wow, okay, いいサービスですね. Okay, いった. Then I said, wow, that's a really a good service. And then she put out a piece of clothes, okay, and covered my eyes. I was wow. Okay, by that moment, I realized that Leslie was a real one particular service that you couldn't find anywhere in China, not any other countries, only in Japan, because the staff of the hairdressers, she actually tried to prevent your eyes get like a sweat water while washing your hair. I was wow, that is something that I have never actually experienced before. How could she be such attentive and careful, and that to take good care of my my hair, and that in case of any water spray on my face. And this is like something that uh I would say you just couldn't find anywhere outside of Japan. Yeah.